Hey everyone, welcome back. If you are new to my channel, my name is Heather, and if you haven't already, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button down below. My Instagram account is the Gingy Pants, and this video today is going to be all about introducing solids to your little one and everything that helped us along the way. For example, taking things like the Feeding Littles course, also incorporating fresh, frozen, organically sourced food that is delivered right to your doorstep. It's called Raised Real, and I'll tell you more about that, along with how we prepare our food and just a little bit about everything that we've learned along the way. So our son just turned 1 a month ago, and he's practically eating with a fork. But real quick, let's start from the beginning. Our doctor recommended around 4 to 6 months that we can start introducing solids to our son. He was telling us that you want to look for things like ready signs that they're ready to eat. Basically. Things like they're holding their head up, they're sitting up, showing interest in you eating. We were sitting and I was eating with my son on my lap, and he was literally watching the food getting scooped off of my plate and going into my mouth, and that's when I really knew that he was ready to eat. And the other thing is that when you put it in their mouth, that they don't spit it back out. Us personally, we wanted to start feeding him solids at 4 months because you're just so eager to do everything. But we didn't actually start doing it until around 4.5 months. Through my Instagram account, I'm very vocal and I ask everybody's opinions. And some people were saying, why are you starting him on solids so early? I guess it's different what the doctors are recommending, but ours said that it was a go at 4 to 6 months, and look for the cues that they're ready to eat and to start with purees. So there's a few things you could do. You can start doing purees between 4 to 6 months, or you can just wait and not introduce solids until 6 months and do baby led weaning. The technical baby led weaning is like no purees and just jumping into giving them whole foods and letting them chew. You can look into more of that on your own. But we had did like a combo of both, kind of. We started him out on purees. We started with easy things like oatmeal mixed with breast milk, bananas pureed mixed with breast milk, sweet potatoes pureed mixed with breast milk. Basically everything that we could puree into like a really smooth consistency mixed with breast milk, because we were so nervous. We took little spoonfuls of the pureed foods with breast milk and we gave it to him, and he was so ready to eat by 4.5 months, sitting there like a little bird with his mouth open like, ah. We did follow that whole introduce a new food, then wait 3 days, feed them the same food for a few days to monitor for allergies. By 6 months, we went to our 6-month checkup, and the doctor said that we were free to go with introducing peanuts, eggs. Mostly all of the allergens were a go-ahead by 6 months, except for honey. Honey, you're supposed to wait until after a year or so. We have still yet to introduce honey to our son. I don't know what we're waiting for, but at the year appointment, they said that we could do honey. So those 3 days, and when you're waiting for the allergic reaction, you're gonna look for things like rash, vomiting, diarrhea, bloody stools, wheezing. As of right now, it was 2018, 2019 when we were introducing foods to our son, and the rules were to do peanuts and eggs and all of those high allergen foods by 6 months. Like early introduction now is what they're saying is key to help prevent those allergies. But again, go with what your doctor says. So a little bit about Feeding Littles, which is the course that my husband and I took. And it's a video-based course, which is amazing because who has time to sit and read? I'm so sorry, but I don't. And the fact that this is video and we were able to sit down after we put our baby to sleep and watch it together, and then you get visuals, you see other babies eating, you get to take it in. So it's a occupational therapist and a registered dietitian specializing in pediatric feeding. They describe everything so phenomenally, and you should definitely check out their courses. If you want to learn more about the Feeding Littles course, I'll leave their website below, and they actually give me a link that you can use to get $10 off of the course for me to just spread the word, because I reached out to them so many times on Instagram through direct message, and I told them how much I love their program and I would love to share it with you guys. So the discount code is the Gingy Pants, and if you type that in, you'll get $10 off of the course, which is amazing. If you're planning on getting the course and then you find this discount, it's like, ah! One of the other staple things that we've incorporated to introducing food to our little one is Raised Real. So it's flash frozen, organically sourced baby ready meals. They come in little packets like this, and it says all of the ingredients on the front. along with little nutrition cards that has all the nutrition on the back and little paragraphs about why everything that's in this is good for your baby. So for example, this one is sweet potato, mango, coconut milk, lucuma powder, and chia seeds. It's things that you wouldn't normally just whip out of your cabinets and create a little meal for your tiny human. So it's fun flavors that Joe and I weren't incorporating into his meals. And once we got on board with this, it really expanded his palate. So for instance, this one says for vision support, digestive support, immunity boosting, healthy fats help tiny humans absorb vitamin A. Then when vitamin C is thrown in, their immune cells activate to fight off things that make you go, ew. Let's hear it for science. And it has all of the nutrition facts. And then there's a little card that says, this is how we do it, and it's instructions. So I'll show you a couple videos, but it's basically you empty the frozen meal into a saucepan, add 3 tablespoons of water, cover and bring to a boil over medium heat, and then reduce to a simmer for 5 to 6 minutes. You can serve it as a finger food. You would just have to let it cool. You can mash it up with a fork or in a blender, and then you can also puree it, which you would put it in a blender and just blend it for about 30 seconds. So that's another cool thing about Raised Real is that it grows with your baby. You don't have to just wait until they're at toddler age that they can eat finger foods. You can puree these and then add in your protein, and you have a full meal. For instance, this one is butternut squash, pear, ground pumpkin seeds, nutmeg, and coconut butter. And we all know how difficult and busy life can be, especially for me being a working mom. My husband works. We don't get home till literally dinner time, and at that time, you're scrambling sometimes. And you know, when we both get home late, it's like, we can wait to eat. We can take the time to cook a meal, but the baby is hungry and needs to eat when he needs to eat. And if it's not ready, you're gonna be feeding them pointless snacks that have no nutrition. And this is your answer to those days where you just don't have the time to sit and think and make an entire meal. Because let's be real, life happens and we are all busy working humans. Another thing that we've really been trying to stick to is feeding our son organic food. Sometimes it's just not the easiest, quickest option. The great thing about Raised Real is it's all organically sourced. It's all plant-based. You can pick your protein and add it to make it a complete meal if that's what you choose. And when we go to the supermarket, we try and go by the Dirty Dozen, especially for Cole, with the fruits and the pesticides and all of that. So putting that worry of staying organic, feeding your child solids, trying not to let them choke, and worrying about if you're getting all of the nutrition in that you should be getting in, it can give you a lot of anxiety. So the Raised Real is nutritionally balanced meals. Feeding Littles has taught us how to not worry and how to properly introduce things to our baby, and ways to introduce utensils and what plates to use and stuff like that. Some of our core meals as of right now, we like to do organic chicken. We have gotten into putting more spices on the chicken, so we'll cook it with everything except for salt. I think that the salt content for children shouldn't go over like 1,000 or 1,500 in a day, and for kids under 1 it's even less than that. So you really need to watch the pouches and stuff like that. Sometimes they can be high in sodium and you're not even realizing it. And don't quote me, but it's something with their little kidneys and everything can't function properly or like process it out. If we're not using the Raised Real, we try and give him what we're eating, but like I said, sometimes our meals are not ready nearly in time for him to eat. When we were introducing solids to Cole, one of the biggest things that I think people misinterpret is choking versus gagging. I understood what gagging was versus choking, but my husband was having a really hard time understanding and believing me that I was telling him the truth, that no, he's okay, he's gagging, he's not choking. To the point where the one time we were feeding him, he literally tipped his whole high chair over and tried to like pat his back, and he was just gagging a little piece of food up, and he was fine, but it's also worrisome. So getting over the whole gag versus choking thing is something that you'll need to work on when you're introducing solids to your baby. But to sum it up, we started with puree. We ended up doing somewhat of a baby led weaning where at 6 months he was doing so well with the purees that we let it get a little chunkier, and then we actually ended up handing him more formed foods, like a really good cooked sweet potato. We would give him a chunk of it and he was taking bites of it, along with, we introduced the puffs, probably a little earlier than we should have, but when he was chewing and he was actually working on that chewing skill, we knew that he was ready to do that. So we looked more into the baby led weaning. Technically, we weren't 100% baby led weaners because we did purees before, and you'll have to look more into that. But I'll show you some videos of my son. He was really young and he was doing bigger foods like banana. I would give him chunks of banana and he would eat that. Then there's the other thing, like you have to be aware of the foods that you're giving and make sure you're not just giving fruits. Fruits are so easy to just give because they're there and they're mushy. But another staple is broccoli. He loves broccoli. But the potatoes and string beans and stuff like that. Beans are a great option. Cook them really nice and soggy and then you can smush them. This is Cole. And this is one of his staple, I love snacks. They're the Happy Baby Organic Superfood Puffs. You gonna throw them on the ground? Oh, you can put them back in. Thank you. There's literally, I can go on and on about food and feeding, and I'm sure you could keep watching videos. Thank you. About introducing food to your little one. Oh. He's in the sharing stage. He likes to share with me. But comment below and let me know if you have any specific questions. I would love to make another video. Thank you. Or what we feed Cole in a day. Let me know what you're interested in, or if you have any ideas that are your staple items that you feed your son or daughter. Don't forget to check out the links below for the Feeding Littles course and the Raised Real food that we use. And definitely make sure to subscribe to my channel. And hopefully we'll get some more videos up of this cute little man. Mwah! Yeah, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah, bye-bye.